Hello everyone. Today, in this video, I will reveal one of the interesting fraudulent schemes at the poker tables. Of course, as in the entire modern world, in poker, there are a huge number of fraudsters who want to gain an unfair advantage and take from unsuspecting game enthusiasts. Their stacks. Throughout the centuries-long history of poker, fraudsters have come up with dozens of different ways to deceive other participants in the game. From the banal team play, in simple terms, a collusion game by a group of people against one or several opponents, to card analyzers hidden in a smartphone or a car key fob which allow knowing the opponent's cards. The world of gambling is also full of stories where scammers look for ways to deceive not only the players but also the game organizers. One of these methods caught the eye of my friend. He is a professional poker player and, as usual, was monitoring the lobby of one of the online poker clubs in search of a good game. His attention was drawn to a table where, at first glance, it seemed a very profitable game was being played with several such weak players. There were no free seats at the table, so he queued up and started observing. After a few minutes, he realized that if you're looking for a reliable poker club with a huge selection of games, daily tournaments, and deposit bonuses, then I want to recommend to you the Lucky Streak Club on the Xpoker and Club GG platforms. Just message the manager on Telegram and they will answer all your questions and help you join the club. Withdrawals and deposits can be made in stablecoins USDT and USDT. Welcome to the club and good luck at the tables. Rather strange things were happening at the table. And the first thing that caught the eye was that players with good statistics were making negative moves. Consider, for example, a hand dealt by two professionals. One goes all in with a king 4 offsuit and the other calls with a queen 5 offsuit as well. All this in a pot of 400 big blind. Strange, isn't it? The second red flag was that all the players in this game were representatives of two clubs. This is quite odd, as there are hundreds of clubs in the union, and such a coincidence simply couldn't be accidental. Let me explain a bit. In a club-type application, 2 or more clubs can form a union to increase traffic. So there were 100 clubs in that union, and the third oddity. After a few rounds of such silly deals, all the players left the table simultaneously. What happened here, you might ask? And where is the deception? And who in fact was deceived? I will explain everything in detail after a short commercial break. If you are looking for a reliable poker club with a huge selection of diverse games and tournaments for every taste and daily free rolls, then I want to recommend to you the Lucky Streak Club on the Xpoker platform. To join the club, just message the manager on Telegram and he will give you the link to download the club ID and answer any questions. With the promo code FOLLOWMOV, you will receive a lifetime 50% rakeback and a web card for 1 deposit. I also personally guarantee the safety of your deposits. Welcome to the club, and good luck at the tables to understand the scheme. And I'll explain what his chop is. This feature allows a player who goes all in to ensure part of the pot they are entitled to according to the expected value of their hand. Let's look at the situation visually. A player with 10s goes all in and the opponent calls with 2 5s. And after the showdown, the system offers insurance to all participants in the hand according to their equity. The favorite with 10s, who has an 80% chance of winning, is offered to insure for chips, which he does. And now he will receive his insurance in any case, and the main pot will be taken by the club if he wins. In the event of the 5s winning, the club will be at a loss for the amount of the insurance. The organizer naturally takes a commission for the insurance and in the long run will always come out ahead, provided of course that the game is played fairly. Interestingly, the system always issues insurance according to the expected value of a particular hand regardless of which cards have been removed from play. But what if we know which cards have been removed from play? What if in a 9-max game we know all 18 starting cards? Have you guessed it already? This way we can understand how to understand. In which direction does the expected value deviate? If in a hand of 5s against 10s, we knew that 2 5s have been played, then the expected value. The underdog's expectation in this hand would be 2-3% instead of the 20% that the system suggests insuring. Knowing all the cards at the table, we have a colossal advantage over the system and can exploit it to our benefit. To back up my claims, I created a club and 8 accounts, and in just 1 hour, I beat the system by 3,000. Blind. Then at the table, what my friend discovered was that the scammers beat the club by 50,000 rubles in just 15 minutes and disappeared in an unknown direction. Notably, the settlement between clubs usually occurs on Mondays, and this game took place on a Sunday, closer to the settlement day, so that the shortfall amount from the EV chop would get lost among the weekly flow of units and not stand out. Fraudsters exploit the EV chop during the lowest traffic times, early in the morning Moscow time, to avoid extra eyes and not attract attention. And of course, let's go. Let's look at a few examples of hands where I managed to gain an advantage over the system and earn some chips. Alright, my organized crime group, everyone is here. Look, I'm succeeding. Accounts 6, 7, and 8 are on the phone. You can't see it here. Here's the player with Pitris. In this hand, he has kings. I am the first to see the flop. This is the only hand after the flop.
I thought I would go multi-way, hit 2 pairs and go against kings without outs for a set. Look, 2 kings are played. But this is not the best example, but for about 15 minutes nothing has been dealt. I decided to choose this hand to take some advantage in equity because, look, 24 is drawn to the kings, but in reality there is no more 10% chance to win this hand. And the kings taken in chop 6-3, they always continue as the underdog. Well, the scheme is such that the underdog always takes his chop and the favorite continues. And in the case of a win, the favorites win. The main pot goes to us, and 134 big blinds also go to us from the club. These are additional funds that go to our profit. The next hands, it turns out, look again, we have XP3 186 as the victim. He has 84. And all the 4s are played, meaning there are no more 3s or 4s in the deck. I think we can take this money. There's 87, go against 84, and gain a huge advantage. Outs only for flush and straight, somewhat illusory. 84 takes, and in a chop, and 87 continues as usual. And 4 outs appear for the opponent. But thank God it doesn't come, and we beat the casino with ace-4 and dual in. Look, there is 1-9 and 1-9 with XP 3186. And it's not visible here, but it's there, I assure you. And it turns out there's 1-9 in the deck, and the plan is to go with ace-4 against 9-4. Well, I think it's quite profitable. We take his chop, it shows us 30%, but in reality there's only 1 out and good chances of winning. Everything works out again. Here's another suitable situation. Not a single jack is left in the deck. Here, 2 3s have been played and only 2 3s are left in the deck, it turns out. And we have 2 2s in hand. It's a coin flip against Folia 3, but in reality I think Olja has about 10% now, 15 at most. And his private security company will give us 50% of the bank's share. We take all our percentages, 50% from the pot, and look, the 3 does come. It seemed to me when I was playing that the RNG was rigged in favor of the one who takes the c-bet. Really, very often 1 or even 2 would come, like now, but thank goodness a straight. It came through and we beat the casino again. Here probably we have the most suitable example. All the queens are in play, 3 6s are in play, 1 in the deck, we go with king 5 all in. And in the hope, well, not in hope, but with the aim to go against one of the queen 6s. Since we have 2 here, we need to choose some more suits to make them suitable. I think the perpetrators have some kind of program that determines who has the least equity in the hand and who has the most, and you can play every hand if you want. Well, actually look, you can do without all of this, without any strong capacities. And if it brings in big money, I think they have several computers, good equipment, proxies, VPNs and all sorts of things. And all of this works in such a way. And that's how the club ended this game. Minus 133 chips is the profit of the scammers, meaning our profit. In short, they beat the club by 1300 blinds. Judge for yourself whether this is a lot or a little for a few hands. In my opinion, it's a lot, and the scheme seems to be working. And most likely after this video its use will be cancelled in many clubs, even though it is quite profitable for the clubs. So write your opinion in the comments, like, hit the bell, and thank you for watching. All the best. See you at the tables.